A portable document scanner you can slip in your backpack. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and we live in an era where people are getting less into paperwork, so we have less documents. There's a lot more that's digital, but you gotta get things to be digital. And sometimes it's really beneficial to have the ability to turn a physical document into a digital document. Now, modern smartphones are pretty good where you take a picture and it can do some processing. But let's be real, when you're holding a phone and your hand's not perfectly still and everything, you're not getting an optimal image. Enter portable scanners. That's what this is. Believe it or not, in here is a portable document scanner. This is the, let me open it up, the JoyUsing ScanPad 100 Pro portable scanner. And as you can see, it is simple and elegant. It has its own scan surface right here. So you put a document on here, you use the included USB-C to USB-A wire to plug it into your Mac or PC. And then you run their software, which gives you the ability to do document scanning, to do OCR, to do some processing of the image, to choose different resolutions. So there's a lot you can do. Built in here is a 16 megapixel camera. So it's probably a better camera than your webcam right now. And it can do 380 DPI 4K scans up to 4608 by 3456 pixels. So that's a really dense document. It's going to produce large files, but those files are going to be really crisp and clean and easy to reference and easy to use. So next time you have a contract and you've both signed it and you're like, great, now I need a copy of it, you could pop this out of your backpack, plug it into your PC, and run a quick scan, and now you have a digital copy that's so crisp that you for sure it's going to work and it's going to be great. Now it has a secret power too, because if I tap here, a little hard to see, but there's actually a built-in light here. And of course it's not going to work because this isn't powered and it's not plugged in. But if it were plugged into my PC, I could go to 3 different light levels to illuminate what I'm scanning. And if you're thinking Mission Impossible or James Bond, yeah, you could do that too. You could sneak into the villain's lair and pull this out and start doing some quick scans. Although probably one of those micro miniaturized cameras is more appropriate for James Bond, but this definitely can do that sort of thing. So it has a 1-second scan time. It's super fast. Modern camera systems are just like, boom, got the image, no problem. Built-in LED light. It has AI OCR processing in the software that you download for free from their website. And that software supports a lot of languages with 99.9% accuracy. And you can save your documents that you've scanned or your OCR'd content in Microsoft Word or JPEG or PDF or TIFF format or text files. There's a lot of formats. In fact, let's just switch things around. Let me have you watch over my shoulder and we'll do 2 test scans. We'll do one of their little tiny included instruction booklet by just putting it right there in the center. But before we get there, the demo will actually have us scan the first page of the instructions to the terrific board game Ticket to Ride. Let's roll. I'm ready for the demo. I have the scanner, it's plugged into my Windows PC, and I have a preview beta version of the software. I also have a couple of documents that we're going to try scanning. So let's open this up and get this ready. And it's as easy as doing that. I have already plugged in the cable, so that makes that a little easier. Then all I have to do is open this up. I can optionally turn on a light here by tapping on this. But I find that when I have glossy documents, it reflects, and that ends up being a problem. So here we have our test document number 1. These are the instructions to the popular board game Ticket to Ride. And it's bright, it's colorful, and it definitely has some text in it. So let's launch the software. And again, I'm going to reiterate that this is beta preview software. So I do not expect it to work perfectly. And along the top are the 4 primary categories. We have camera scanner, book scanner, Document Scanner, and File Processing. And because I'm in File Processing, I'm seeing previous scans that I've saved. But let's go ahead and switch to Document Camera. And you can see it's already showing me this document, but it's showing it to me kind of overly zoomed in. Now, I can adjust the app by using a little finger gesture, but the problem here is that I need to change the resolution of the scan. And I think in the final version of the software, there'll be a default for this, but I find that I have to change it manually every single time. So on the top right, the default is 1920 by 1080, which is of course HD, but I don't want HD, I want better than that, particularly since I'm going to do OCR. So I'm going to choose 4608 by 3456. That's a much higher resolution. Let's see if I can get it to work. And the first thing to notice is that it is refigured what it can scan. So the scan area has increased, so now I can see the entire directions, which is good. And then we're going to go on the left-hand side, and I'm going to choose Auto Borders. So when I click on this, can you see that orange line has shown up? Because I don't want my scan to include any of the background. That is just silly and unnecessary. And then the other thing I'm going to do is that there's also an autofocus. Let's see, that is here. And we're going to just make sure it's in perfect focus. And it is really on screen a very crisp image. So at this point, I can most easily just go ahead and click on the camera icon. Done. So now I have a scan as a document saved on my computer, and as advertised, it is lightning fast. So now if I go to File Processing, we can go and we can see this document that we just scanned, and you can see this is the scan, and it's beautiful and crisp and super high resolution. And now on the right, I can choose various output and OCR formats. So if I want to save this as a .tif or a TIFF file, I can just choose .tif. But what I want to do is I want to do it as a PDF. So I'm going to simply choose PDF OCR. Oops, I need to actually select the file on the left. Let's try again. PDF OCR. And now it's giving me a bunch of choices for, well, give me a tip on what the input language is. And in this case, it's English, so I'll choose English. And then export file types are Word, Excel, PDF, and text. PDF works for me. File name, storage path, all of that. Now, there is a progress bar here. So let's see how long it takes to do the OCR. And go. And this is a little tricky because the document is rotated 90 degrees. Let's try again. And there we go. So it is actually running, and it is doing an OCR scan, and it's done. So, okay, close this window. Let's minimize the scanner software. There we go. And then, so here's our new PDF, and I'm going to just double click it to see what we got. And this is now in Microsoft Edge showing me the PDF in PDF Viewer. And you can see it is absolutely beautiful. And let's zoom in a little bit. And that is really as good as doing it on a flatbed scanner. And that was a 1-second scan. And is it actually OCR text? Yes, you can see by the fact that I can select things that it has actually figured it all out and embedded all of this as text, which means I could copy and paste the opening paragraphs of the instructions into a document or something. So absolute worked perfectly. Now let's go back and let's go back into the app and let's try scanning something a little more challenging, and that is their own quick start guide. And you can see it's really small. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go to camera scanner. And sure enough, it's like, wow, that's really small, but if that's what you want. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to automatically choose the borders, and it did just fine, giving me that orange line. And then we'll do autofocus. Make sure we have the best possible result. And then because we're in Camera Scanner, I can go directly to OCR from here without having to save the document. So let's choose that. And so we see again this same format. And this time, let's try doing a TXT output. And I've done a .txt, and it's horrible file names, but it's the default, so that's fine. So let's OCR this. There's not a lot of words on this, but let's see how it does. And done. So that's easy again. And so we'll close this out. And just for the record, I could easily have zoomed in. And so now you can see better here than you can see on there what the document is. But we already scanned it and OCR'd it. So now let's go here and see if it got any text out of this at all. And I haven't tried this test before, so let's see what it's got. And it looks like the combination of it being real small and real sideways resulted in us not getting any text. So that was not a great demo. Let's try doing the same thing, but instead of doing an OCR, let's just save it. And then they'll go into file processing. And we'll scroll down a little bit to get to this document. That looks good. We'll do that. And then this time, I will just save it as a PDF. So I'm not going to do any OCR with it. Okay, there we go. So now I have this PDF, and we're going to export in original size, equivalently centered, or adaptive side. Let's try equivalently centered, see what that looks like. And start. And PDF file saved successfully. Thank goodness for portable document format. Oh, gotta close this window. Then I can close this. Then we have this new PDF. And sure enough, I can actually zoom out a little bit. And there it is. So that is a PDF, not OCR'd, but just scanned and saved from the JoyUsing scanner. I want to reiterate that that's beta software. And I think that, especially with my feedback, I've been talking to them as I've gone through this whole process, they might be making some changes before they get final shipment. This is on its way to Kickstarter. JoyUsing has made a lot of different scanners of this format where you open it up and then you can put a book on here or a document on here to scan. So they have a lot of deep experience with that. But as with a lot of companies, the usability of their software is something where it's good, but it could be a little better. So hopefully that'll change. In a similar manner, this is USB-C to USB-A, but most of my computers are only USB-C now. So I needed to use a USB-C to USB-C cable. Luckily, the Lenovo I used for the demo does have that one old sort of backwards compatible USB-A port, which is what I used. And as you saw, overall, I think it was very successful. It had a little problem using the OCR with this tiny little document, but I'm just going to put that up to it just being a kind of goofy challenge because there's really not much text on there to OCR in the first place. It did beautifully with the instructions to the game, as you saw. So really, there's a lot to like here. A lot of people won't need this. A lot of people don't really need document scanners or portable scanners. But if you do, the idea that you have something like this where you can fold it up, slide the wire in here, close it up, and now it's a self-contained scanner that you can plug into your computer when you're ready to use it. And then otherwise you can leave on a shelf, you can leave behind your computer monitor, you can leave it in your backpack or the lower desk or drawer on your desk or something. Really, really nice. Software is Mac or Windows or Linux, and it is in process, but that's okay because software needs to continually be improved. That's just kind of the nature of the game. So really a lot to like here. I've been really impressed with this. I've had a lot of fun playing with it and experimenting. Would I like to see it where it defaults to the highest resolution and then I can choose lower resolutions to save some disk or image space? Yeah, that might come. That might be available by the time you watch this video. So all of this, it's on its way to Kickstarter. And then so Kickstarter, as you know, crowdfunding, the pricing gets a little complicated. So I'm going to talk about that before I get to the price. I am going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and click or tap on that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon for notifications of my new content. And if you found this of value, and I really hope you did, give me a thumbs up. Excellent. This is the JoyUsing ScanPad 100 Pro portable scanner. And it is coming to Kickstarter, or it might already be on Kickstarter. You can check the link in the description. And its retail price will be $129, but the super early bird is $89, the early bird is $99, and the Kickstarter special is $109. So there's a lot of tiered pricing here, and as with so many things on Kickstarter, if you just go to the site and you get there soon enough, and you're willing to roll those dice and hope that this is going to actually happen, and obviously this is not just something that's on the drawing board, they're manufacturing these. They're like, shipping these things out to reviewers. So odds of that success are super high. But the sooner you get there, the lower your price will be. But even at $129, if you need a scanner and you don't want to have one of those big flatbeds just taking up a lot of space in your office, this is an extraordinarily interesting solution. And the great thing is, because it has that 16 megapixel camera, the software can just keep getting better and better and easier, making it a better and better device for you. So that's what I got. I think I'm going to round up some friends and we're going to play Ticket to Ride. What a great game. I've played it so many times. Anyway, that's what I got. Hope to catch you in my next video.